Hey, we're live with another edition of the Whiskey Gaming Show. We're off for 2 weeks because we had that really cool tournament that we were doing here on INET.
Yeah.
And so that was pretty fun. And so I'm here with RJ today. Say hey, RJ.
Hey, RJ.
RJ is having fun with some really cool backgrounds. And
he's spacing out.
and I mean he's having way too much fun with his video. And we've got Caleb with us. Hey, Caleb.
Hey, guys.
And Scythe, as always.
I am here, supposedly.
Supposedly.
I'm going to go ahead and apologize to the audience. If I start coughing, I'm trying to mute the mic as fast as possible, but I might cough into it for just a smidgen. And that's not cool, but I'm trying.
So I see Zedist, I'm not sure how you pronounce that. I guess, as Caleb said, damn, that INN thing is really loud, right? And scared the shit out of him, yeah. So we apologize for that.
It's wake-up music.
Yeah, I probably should adjust that, right?
I mean...
Hey. And then, yep, so we're sitting here having some fun. So we were going to... What did we want to delve into first, guys? Did we want to run right... Oh, we have a new follower. I said, so thank you for that new follow. We do appreciate that.
Hooray!
Yeah.
And there it is. So, hey, it looks like I have Muxy set up right this week, so that's always good.
Proud of you.
See, give me 2 weeks off, and I can work some things.
You actually have time to play with it and make sure it does what it's supposed to.
Well,
it's like a maintenance weekend.
Well,
month.
Yeah, you guys know how I'm usually pinging you around 2 o'clock, right?
Yeah,
and
it's automated.
And I was silent today. You didn't hear me, did you? Because I was watching Star Wars and I fell asleep in the other room, and I'm like, woke up at 2:07, said, "Holy shit, I better get rolling."
This is.
I almost slept through it.
Just sounds like you're unprepared half the time.
And you got a lot of things going on. I got kids going everywhere.
Eric, which Star Wars were you watching?
We were watching The Empire Strikes Back.
Okay, you're watching Best Star Wars.
Yes, it was.
Yes.
Eric, RuneShift Gaming just sent us a few people over.
Oh,
Sweet.
wow. Thank you, RuneShift Gaming. I did see that pop in. But yes, thank you. Welcome, everybody, from RuneShift Gaming.
Hello.
Hi, guys.
A very small blob, not an actual raid.
The real question is RJ going to keep screwing around with his video feed and doing weird stuff? And clearly...
Well, probably, but you called him out for it, so now he's nervous.
He's not nervous.
Oh, no.
There's no nervous there.
I'm not nervous.
I
was just going to... You kind of, like, asked me what was it, 2 weeks ago? How long has it been since we've been off of this? Like 2 weeks, 3 weeks?
We were off for 2 weeks.
Because I didn't have a green screen up, so I put the whole shebang up today. Because I actually like tidied up my office and cleaned it up and made it all feng shui and everything.
So you did the thing that I've been putting off for like a month, which is like the only reason I'm not on my cameras, because my room is horrifying and I don't.
Yeah.
I'm sitting here. I get beer cans to my left.
It's a whole thing over here right now. Like I'm just not touching it. It's too much effort.
I did have one of my ancient 19-inch monitors die this week.
Oh.
So slowly getting rid of the old technology. So I'm gonna have to.
I will say that I got a crap ton more space.
So,
cleaning up gets you a lot more space.
Oh, it does. It does. Yeah, I don't have a lot of furniture in the office, but I do have some computer equipment on the floor. Who was it who didn't like Roombas last show?
I thought they didn't work.
Crazy.
It's not that I didn't like them. I thought they didn't They thought they were like more like faddish, like one of those see on TV things.
Oh, Caleb doesn't like them.
Oh, I like them. I think they're very funny, but they're very gimmicky and they don't get into the corners. I know that you said that the actual cleaning effect of the areas that they do reach is really good, but they do not get into the places where the dust puppies live.
Yeah, when you're trying to fight the war on dust puppies, you gotta check your corners.
Hold on. The fuck's a dust puppy?
Have you
it's
never?
It's like a dust bunny, but a different species.
That's what I was trying to figure out. Is this a thing? Y'all call them dust puppies in your country?
when they get to a certain size and they get eyes and legs, then it's a dust puppy.
Okay, so do you have dust bunnies in your country as well? Because this is cultural shock for me.
Yeah, the dust puppies eat the dust bunnies.
Mm-hmm.
Eric, what's the comic thing?
I was just gonna ask. Who knows?
It's from user-friendly.
Yep, userfriendly.org. How many people out there in the audience have done userfriendly.org? Because they've got a whole character, Dust Puppy.
Yeah, exactly. That's where it's from.
So I actually just swept up a whole bunch of those today. Just swept and mopped. I actually did janitorial work today in my house.
Holy
proud
crap.
of you.
If you're really good at the cleaning and your house is spotless, they all reside in your fucking cabinet, in your computer cabinet.
But see, that's the thing. Like, if you've ever been in the military or you're retired from it, you will always have a job in the custodial arts. Like, hands down, you'll be able to clean. And if you can't clean, then you're just dumb, I guess. I don't know.
I clean out my computer probably monthly because I have the big giant case and it's pretty much all mesh. So if there is any dust in the air, it's getting sucked in, right?
You know what I highly recommend? Go to Lowe's and buy a cheap air compressor, and then go on Amazon and buy one of the little hand blow guns or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I bought a freaking air compressor just for my computer.
I bought something similar. It's essentially it's just a vacuum where it's a turbine in a can with a nozzle on it. They're like $20 on Amazon. They're specifically designed for cleaning electronics. So it's just a can of compressed air, but it's like a fan turbine in there. It's really good.
Yeah,
you know, it's real loud though. That's the only thing I'll say with that. Like, they're really nice.
Compressor's loud. Air compressor's loud.
This is maybe the size of like it's really not that big. It's like half the size of a coffee pot. Maybe it's kind of tiny. So it's nice, and I can just pack it up.
So I just need one. I'm in Arizona though. It's dusty.
This is really sad because I have kids, right? So we have all those little things, like, you know, those little wagons you stick the kids in them, you pull them around the neighborhood and stuff when they're little.
Red Ryder, man.
Yeah. So we have the Red Ryder with the big wheels, right? So I actually just stick the PC in that and I wheel it down 2 doors, and my neighbor has an air compressor, and it's just 2 minutes and you're done.
Fucking what the hell is your? I don't.
It's like suburbia, man. This is what you do, you know.
I don't. Guys, I'm taking the computer for a ride around the park. I'll be back later.
It needs some fresh air. It needs to get a little sunlight,
while
a little
your
vitamin
daughter
D.
sits there and goes, "Dad, don't. What you gotta do? Father-daughter time. You're like neglecting the children. I mean,
no, she doesn't care. she's upstairs watching YouTube videos right now.
Like, and she's not watching us. Hopefully, right?
No, we're too boring for her. She actually told me that, Dad, I don't want to watch your show. You guys are boring. And I'm sitting there going, well, you know, if you saw RJ's background, you might not be so bored.
Like, RJ's background is obnoxiously awesome. So there you go.
Yeah.
I could make it worse.
You could make it worse. No, you can do whatever you want. Just have fun.
I could make it worse.
Have whatever fun you want. So, who here has seen the new Guardians of the Galaxy movie? Let's start there.
I has.
You have?
Nope, but I just watched Volume 1 this morning.
Wow, you're way late on the uptake, brother.
No, I've seen it. I just haven't gone to it.
Wow. I just don't even.
There's only one movie I'm waiting for this month. There's only one.
What is that?
19th, Alien Covenant.
Oh, I saw that commercial today.
That is all I'm waiting for. That's it.
I saw that commercial today.
Yep.
It's gonna be good. It's gonna be really good.
Crossed fingers.
So you know, I like Groot because he's funny, and my children hate that movie. They do not like Guardians of the Galaxy at all. So I will probably have to go with my wife.
Need hitting. You need to beat them real hard. Just like, I don't know, man. It sounds like you're parenting wrong.
Parenting wrong. Parent harder.
Like, hit your kids, people, if they don't.
The old Italian backhand, right?
Yeah.
Oh, you know,
with a bag
can't
of
do that anymore, by the way.
It won't leave a bruise, but it'll let them know who's boss.
The most awesome thing is my 11-year-old, and I'm going to completely, like, do this. She's like, can I go see Alien Covenant? I'm like, fuck yeah, you can. We're going.
You're never going to want to go into outer space in your lifetime, but you can come.
I think we're going to do a pre-watch of...
oh, wow.
From going into outer space and getting into trouble. You watch the Alien movies.
We'll probably end up doing a pre-watch of Prometheus.
I did not like Prometheus.
I love that movie. It's good.
I didn't like it, but that might be me.
See, you can't just go straight like into the bed. You got to have some foreplay before you get into the good stuff. It's a story. It's about the story now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, actually, I think it's going to be straight up blood and guts now. Actually, with this one coming out, I think it's going to be gory as shit.
Porthos went and played a little football while his kid went to watch Guardian of the Galaxy.
You got ditched.
We have to say welcome to Porthos because he has now joined Patriotic Tendencies in.
That's right.
In Eve.
That's right. Good job.
Welcome,
good
Porthos.
Choice. That's a good choice of corpse. I'm not biased or anything saying that.
We might have a preponderance of pinned guys here.
Yeah.
Sorry, Caleb. You're outnumbered.
Caleb's not pinned, right? I was about to say, Caleb, you're not pinned because you're not cool. You're not. A cool
look. There's our B. There's our B.
Where's the
I'm
B?
being suppressed, but I'm staying out of the aliens discussion because I'm a Puritan. What? I believe it ended with aliens, and everything after that is just money grab.
I just want to point out that RJ's view is ridiculous. Him blowing vape all over the fucking bitch from Fifth Element tits. I'm like, what the fuck is going on in the corner of my screen?
He's trying to see how many different sci-fi references he can put on his screen at once.
RJ, stick the pin B up there and leave him there in the corner.
You want? Well, all right. I'll stick him up there. Hold on.
Just leave him up there. I am on our Discord server for PIN, and I'm in the officers chat because I know how to edit Discord. That's the only reason I'm in there.
And Eric doesn't. Apparently, because I fuck up every channel.
You keep fucking up everyone's ability to read messages when they're not were messaged when they weren't logged in. So I'm sitting in there, and the amount of resubmissions for that goddamn B that I have seen is ridiculous.
Okay, other corner and flip it because it's getting cropped.
Hey guys, I got some.
Oh, is it? Okay.
You guys keep talking over.
All right, but that B has had about 800 versions at this point, if my math is right. I think I have all of them saved too. They didn't go with the Goodwin people. I don't know why.
I'm trying to use my art skills and come up with a penned deal, some type of logo of some type, but my creative juices aren't flowing. I'm split between freaking school and stuff right now. So
yeah, man, it's not like you have to. You're just doing it for funsies.
So I mean, since this is the whiskey gaming show, I do game art. That's what my degree path is right now. So I think I still had it in here. What I had to do for this week.
Oh, are you allowed to show that?
Yes. Yeah. This is just schoolwork.
School. I thought it was work.
No, this is just schoolwork. I can't show you the work.
I don't think you should be showing us work now. That ain't. I think you might get in trouble.
So I can't put it up on the main screen, but if you look down at me, it's kind of blocking me right now. But I had to model this sword and model this shield and do hand painted stylized texturing this week. So yeah, that's pretty cool, I guess.
I kind of want to hire you to do a thing for me that I'll message you about later if you have the time. Because I need something made for a costume.
I can't paint you like my French women.
Yeah. Ooh. Now it's getting interesting.
An object design, and my drawing skills are not great, but my describing skills are pretty damn good. So, I need a 2D render of something that I can send to somebody.
Well, so they can make it better at 3D. I'm kind of still working on the 2D. It's weird.
The whole deal there is I just need a good look. This is a good representation of this object that I want made that someone's actually going to physically build me in the real world.
Oh, okay. So, Talk to me later.
Yeah, exactly.
Talk to me later for the right price. So, say.
Yeah, well, yeah, I'll pay. Yeah. I don't mind paying. It's not a big deal. We'll pay for it.
So,
we don't accept free shit. We pay for art because it's a lot of work. And I understand.
There's a whole series coming out on, like, I don't know if it's College Humor or what, but there's like how people are like paying regular like plumbers or electricians or whatever, and there's this guy who's like, I can't pay you, but I'm gonna pay you with promotions. I'm gonna put you on my Twitter, blah blah blah. And it's like that's how artists are, because treated. Yeah, that's how they're treated.
Bullshit. I do a lot of tabletop gaming that I talk about all the time, and we have people who paint miniatures and do the model making and stuff like that, and they're always like, yeah, they'll they always give me a price, and I'm like, you're lowballing yourself, dude. And I always try and like double whatever they ask. It's normally like, oh yeah, it's like $20 to paint this thing, and I'm like a 50. I'm like, they don't get paid enough as it is, and they're doing this and trying to make
I can't remember where it was, but I came across someone that actually did a calculation for artists and how much you should charge per your work. And like, obviously you have to, when you're first starting out, you have to have it a certain percentage, and then you kind of go up, but still it's like you pay, it's kind of like paying for labor, someone working on your car. Yeah. But you wouldn't go up to someone working on your car and say, I'm going to pay you with, Twitter feed, your exposure. That's what it was. I'm going to give you exposure.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, no, pay me, dude. Yeah. I gotta eat.
It's actual work. Like it is a lot of effort, and so it's ridiculous.
I've painted so much that my hand is freaking like cramped up on me, and I couldn't freaking paint anymore, like nonstop. So
the like I think we paid like when you get forum bees, right? I think people are usually paying like 200-300 billion for them or something like that, and I wanted a really good one, so I offered $500 million, right? And then this guy, no complaints. He did like, I can't count how many like touch-ups and changes, right?
I talked about that while you were doing a thing.
You did? Yeah. And so I
mentioned there's 800 versions of this goddamn bee because y'all kept giving him notes, and
so I gave him lots more. I gave him lots more.
Oh yeah. No, the final product is wonderful, like freaking awesome, and it pay artists, people. Do it. Just pay them. It's kind of the same in all things where you get what you pay for. So you're going to pay more for an expert. So it's the same with art. Pay more. You're going to pay for better.
And I guess just before we get onto the games or whatever, like talking about this other thing, if like you got to realize that if everything you watch, even TV shows right now, have some sort of compositing or 3D art or painting or actual like matte painting done in it. There weren't any artists or any digital artists right now, y'all would be just sitting there probably drooling, staring at a wall. So just pay the man.
What is it? There's a Dan Harmon who makes Rick and Morty and did like Community and that kind of stuff. He's big in TV writing. He has a bit where on a podcast he does, people always ask him when the next season of his shows are coming out. So he did one about Rick and Morty. He's like, if all I do is write it and put it on TV, it'll look like a script. Because there's some people there drawing it. It's like they're talented, and we pay them to do this.
Yeah.
So,
which it's like I want to go back to that user-friendly comic, right? Userfriendly.org, right? And Caleb, you're one of the few people I've ever heard mention that actually knew about that comic. If you guys,
because I'm old in so many fucking ways.
I know about the Order of the Stick. Does that help?
But I'll tell you what, that is just start reading that comic. I think it's still up at userfriendly.org, right?
Yeah, it's amazing.
Just start at the beginning and just read. I mean, it's just hilarious.
It's like The Office before The Office, right?
Yeah. You know what? And that's a really good analogy, right? Essentially, it's a comic, for those who don't know, that is happening in a Canadian Canadian ISP, right? So you've got the
tech support jokes are just hilarious. They're so fucking good.
Yeah, they
are. Do you remember that one?
Yes.
That one strip where it's where they're having a party, and in the next room they're whistling modem connects. to see which bow speed it's got. It's like, holy fuck, that's funny.
No, I don't remember that one specifically.
Did you say they're whistling modem noises?
Yes, the modem handshake connect, because
gotcha, yeah.
they sound different whether you have 4800 or 2400 or 9600.
Oh yeah,
so
I know.
Basically, yeah, you should be able to recognize which modem type it is. It's fucking hilarious, Joe.
That's just about as bad as that guy that played the whole Star Wars theme, and he had old, like, 3.5-inch floppies or whatever the hell, like just a whole bunch of drives doing it. Cause it was like,
yeah. He's done a bunch of shit like that.
That's reminding me of something. So, my son and I had to go over to my wife's parents' house and drop something off today, and when you do that, you have to stay and talk to the grandparents for a while, right? Those who have kids, right? You just can't like drop it off and run. You got to actually come in and say, hey, how you doing? Or they get upset, right?
Yep.
So she says, hey, I'm watching this movie. We downgraded our cable, so I only watch things on demand anymore and things like that, right? And we're glimpsing at this show while we're chit-chatting. And I shit you not, they have like the big, not the 5 1/4-inch floppies, right? The bigger ones. Okay? And they're passing this around like it's got some super secret data on it. And in the same scene, they're sitting there talking on smartphones. I just found that just complete. I'm like, what the hell are you watching? It's just really weird to me.
What the hell?
And I was pointing out to my son, hey, see that floppy? That used to be how big floppy drives were. And he's like, what's a floppy drive, Dad? And I'm like, oh my god.
The save button? That's what that was.
The save button.
The save button is a floppy disk. That's
yeah. Oh yeah, that's right.
There's a YouTube video of showing kids old technology, and they're like, "Why did someone 3D print the save button?" Like, that's fucking amazing.
I see that one.
Now that would be a good user-friendly if they were still writing them, right, Caleb?
That's like too accurate. Like, it's so fucking great. Like,
I actually have a couple of the user-friendly compilation books too. They
nice.
Oh, you're a classic guy, Eric.
Yeah. Well, I'm reading his comics for free, right? You gotta pay, right?
True.
Right. So yeah. I mean, because I read it every day, right? While he created new one. I like the time when the one Unix guy, Peter, decided to go from being Peter to being Peter, the evil genius with the Russian accent.
Yeah. Yes, that was so funny.
All of a sudden, one day he has a Russian accent and he's evil.
If you remember, right?
Well, that's how you need to be.
We're very much out in the early days of EVE, and when the Russians started dominating EVE, that was just about the same time that he went from Peter to evil genius. So it was just so much added fun for EVE players to read that shit.
It was good. We're working on beer number 2. I got to fill up the mug.
I haven't even started drinking yet, but I poured a glass of bourbon.
Usually
you haven't touched it yet.
Usually you're drinking like, I don't know, when we're pre-gaming.
Oh, I pre-game normally for the stream. I didn't feel so hot all week, and I'm really not feeling that great right now. So I think I might just hold off and, So I'll drink this one and just not anymore.
Talked about Guardians of the Galaxy. Why don't we
we didn't talk about Guardians at all.
Well, we're not going to do any spoilers. We don't want to spoil it, right?
Okay.
Just hey,
it's
out.
Right,
it's a funny movie. I think it's hilarious. I love it.
It's real fun.
And yeah, they need more green female characters, though. I think so. That'd be good. So yeah.
I mean, Zoe Saldana's hot, so
yeah, a little bit.
Just a smidgen.
Just a smidge. Just a little bit.
Just a smidgen.
A little bit.
Like stupid hot. Yep.
So RJ, you were snooping around Steam the other day, and I think you came up with a new flight simulator software, right?
Yeah, there's a new one coming out, and it wasn't actually Steam. I was just for some god awful. It's going to be on Steam. It's Flight Sim World. And there's only one little video out on it, and it's going to be early access. I think they announced it maybe 2 or 4 days ago. I've gotten conflicting things on that. It's a Dovetail game. So some of their stuff in the background that they've had is if you've ever played Train Sim World, Train Simulator 2017, Euro Fishing, and then Microsoft Flight Simulator 10, the Steam edition. That's them as well. So they've got some experience behind it. And I couldn't just find a feature list, so I had to like bounce around in a few different articles and kind of like pull little snippets out. But in the video, just analyzing the little video, it's like about a 5-minute or so video, and they got the devs talking in there, and then they're showing some of the equipment that they're using and some of the UI, and it looks really clean. And some of the software that they're using is like pretty much on point. Like I know exactly what they're doing. Like everything is going to be physically based rendering, so it's going to look realistic as hell. So just off the bat, I'll just go down to some of the features. It's going to be 64-bit straight off the bat, thank God. DirectX 11, PBR, physically based rendering. It's going to come with officially licensed general aviation aircraft. You're going to be able to do. I wonder, and see, this is where I wonder what they're going to do and how they're going to do this. Are they going to do this like X-Plane 11? It's envelope maneuvers such as stalls and spins will be replicated. So like in X-Plane 11, what they did was around the model of the aircraft, they kind of made like a dynamic like particle system with the atmosphere, so it would react with the atmosphere like realistically in an actual air volume. So I'm wondering if they're going to do that and see, like Flight Sim X didn't do that. It was just like, hey, you're this thing flying around in 3D space, and it's just going to do this, this, and this. So I'm wondering if they're going to do that and actually have it interact dynamically with like the volume of quote unquote air quotes that it's going to be in. Let's see, they're going to have lessons, missions. There's actually going to be a mission editor for it, and that looked pretty interesting.
Oh yeah, that did look interesting.
There's going to be like the flight planner isn't going to be like it looks like it's nothing, doesn't look anything like Flight Sim 10 did. It's like literally you got an airport here, and then you like drag and drop it to other airports on the map, which looks really easy. And they're allowing add-on developers, publishers produce content such as aircraft, airports, mission scenery. So start building shit.
Start building shit.
Just start building shit. Let's see. Profile to keep track of your flight hours. Yeah, Flight Sim 10 did that. But I mean, from the looks of it, and just the little snippets that they showed in their video, it looks pretty good. I might actually, get it and fly in it.
What was its cost?
It didn't have a cost on it yet. I mean, I can go double check, but there's nothing on it for cost. All it says is early access, and it hasn't come out yet. But it says May 2017, so it's May, so something in there. I don't know.
Hey, hate to interrupt the Flight Sim. We have someone in chat asking if Mittens is on tonight. Do y'all know if he's going to do his show after?
He's not streaming tonight either, no.
I don't think he is, but that's where that really cool schedule thing at the bottom comes into play. That you can click on it. I believe it even gives all the games, even in your time zone, right? It automatically converts time zones, correct? I think, nope, we don't have anything scheduled for the rest of tonight other than us. That's interesting.
5-hour whiskey gaming. Let's
5-hour whiskey gaming.
Let's do it.
Whiskey marathon.
Whiskey-thon.
Could be. Maybe.
Here, let me see.
We stop when there's no one left talking.
Yeah. So Leroy, I don't think he's going to be there.
We're just going to cut into a game of like first edition D&D or something stupid.
First edition D&D. You know what? I really think we should do that sometime.
I wanted to do a Savage Worlds game with you cats. And we'll see. I'll talk to y'all about that later. We'll do that. See if we can record that.
So I don't know if it's going to be really seen, but I kind of popped up a picture of one of the models that they got from there and from that Flight Sim game, and it's going to be very small. But I know I'm so small. It's like you know what we can do? I could do a stream inside of a stream inside of a stream. We could do the whole Paradox thing.
That's fucking crazy, RJ. That picture of you like that is
hilarious. Streamception.
I don't know what we've done anymore. This has gone too far.
Gone too far? No.
We've gone too far.
I can have a stream inside of a stream.
Yeah, you can. So yeah, we can do all kinds of things with that. What was it that RJ, you and Scythe were fighting about? RJ, you thought there was a great game, and
oh yeah,
Yeah, and Scythe said it sucked, and I'm like, what the hell are you even talking about? I don't even know.
I forgot what we were talking about at that point.
Okay, it's so aside from me doing like 3D art and all that crazy stuff, I actually started out in music. So I've played guitar, bass, electronic music, and so on. And just to get me back into it, like learn a little better, I got Rocksmith 2014 remastered, and I think it's a really good game. Like I actually learned better with this as a learning tool than I did any time else. I'm actually playing, and I'm more motivated to play than ever. The only problem and the only bitches, moan, gripes, and complaints that I have about it is it doesn't set up for like pro audio interfaces. Like it doesn't have ASIO support. So the interesting thing I'm running into right now is anybody that's a musician or a studio head out there. I run a Motu 828X right now, and I can use that on my MacBook no problem and have like 0 latency. But when I plug it in and try and play it on my PC, it will like insta crash freaking Rocksmith. And I actually spent like an hour or two with Ubisoft yesterday, and they're like, yeah, we just don't support those interfaces. So what they're pretty much taking it down to is you got to have their tone cable, which I don't have an issue with because I have a dry out on my effects processor, so I just run that into the computer and it's like whatever, I can play with my own effects. But the thing is, it's like I can't run and this is just to run the audio from the songs from the game out through my PA speakers over here, so I can just blast shit. So I can actually get myself into a concert setting. But that's the thing that pisses me off is there's no driver support for like a lot of these just regularly used interfaces. Like there's people that are using Scarletts out there, and those are some pretty common interfaces. And it's just like, no, we want you to use your built-in freaking motherboard sound card. And it's like, no, that's shit. I want to blast it out some speakers and jam.
I have a sound blaster from like the 80s that still works. I need to use it.
Like, yeah, and their whole excuse is their biggest excuse, and it really pisses me off because it's like they're not stupid about it. Is they're like, well, we can't. We got to get the latency down so it detects your notes. And I'm like, dude, I'm running this right now. If you would just set this up for freaking ASIO, there wouldn't be a problem. Yeah, because that's like 0 latency, period. Except you want to use like WDM or some crazy like whatever Windows freaking media shit is, and there's always latency with it. You should just put ASIO support in there and called it a day.
It's true, and Leroy's out in chat talking about some text bar or something which says roughly what you're discussing. Leroy, we do free flow some of the conversation throughout, and we can think about that. Sometimes we'll play videos and things related to what we're chatting about. However, if you are in Imperium Discord and you're in the chat, if you pop into the Imperium Discord down into the public coffee table, I will drag you into the stream to chat. So people are actually welcome from the chat if they want to bring something up, talk about something in gaming, to be part of the show even. So,
or they just have a different opinion than us and want to express it.
And that's
we totally love hearing other people's experience with software. Like, RJ, you're talking about Rocksmith. I tried Rocksmith when it first came out, the original one, and it just never seemed to work the way they meant it to. And that might have been a situation where the setup requires something extra when you're actually working with it, and they don't explain it very well other than here's this like 15-page booklet on how to set this up, and not really any great online support for doing it. Like
you must have played the older one because I
played the original.
Well, there's the original Rocksmith, and then there was Rocksmith 2014, and then recently they just remastered it and pretty much rebuilt it. It is a hell of a lot better because I started out with the pre-remastered one, just the Rocksmith 2014, and I was like, okay, this is still pretty sweet, and that's what got me into it. And then they came out with the remastered one. They redid their audio engine a little bit, and it got even better. And like, dude, there is like over $3,000 worth of freaking tracks you can get. They're only like $2 a piece.
Yeah, I don't want to pay for the goddamn tracks. That'd probably be my biggest issue.
And I will go back to my artist gripe there. You gotta pay the artist, man.
Well, here's the whole deal. I own probably every single song that they use. And I was wondering why I wouldn't be able to upload my own music into it and then have it render.
There is software out there that I guess can do it. I haven't tried it.
Okay.
I came across it once where it'll actually set up the bars for you, or you have to put them in. I don't know which one, but there is software out there that does that.
I have software that is for writing sheet music and that kind of stuff.
And I think it might take it off of that.
I think it actually works well with it, but I'm not sure. I haven't tried the new one. I've only used the oldest version of this app, this software, this game.
Yeah, because I haven't seen it in practice and work, but there's something out there that does it.
Because that game was like, when that game first came out, I was still huge into my college career of like being a huge band nerd, and we were trying to figure out how we could mod it for other instruments and all this other fun stuff, and it was one of those things that we had looked at and we're like, man, you could do so much more with this than just guitar.
And
it's insane.
And see, there's a lot that goes into it too. Like I wish I wish there was some other artists like Pink Floyd. They won't do shit. They won't allow that in there. Or like there's other licensing problems. Like Metallica won't do it because they're already licensed out with Rock Band or whatever the hell it is.
Yeah. Rock Band. Was Aerosmith is on Rock Band only as well?
I think they have Aerosmith, and they're. Okay. I just got It's funny. I just got Tears for Fears the other day and Flock of Seagulls.
Nice.
So they got like all this 80, like they got Twisted Sister on there and everything. Like the list is huge if you go to Steam and do it. But there's the thing is about every song that they put on there is they have to set it up for bass, they have to set it up for the rhythm, and they have to set it up for lead as well. And in doing each one of those, they have to have those 3 different versions of that. And they have to drop out those separate tracks as well. So if you're playing bass, they have to drop the bass out in that track and load that in. So it's not that big of a game, but each song has to have like 3 different versions of it.
Yeah.
So and they're pretty well built. And like going through all those notes, like there's some songs on there that are just fucking nuts, man.
Well, yeah, that's one of the things with actual like rock guitar. It gets the whole idea there was get more intense than the previous person, it seems, with that genre of music.
And like, it's like I never thought I'd be able to play like a freaking solo, but the riff repeater that they have on there where you can slow the song down and just
practice it,
practice it over and over, and and you could just practice segment by segment. It's not the whole song; like they split it up by like phrase and song and portions of it. And you could just recycle over and over and over. Like the past like day, like I think all like for about 3 or 4 hours last night, I was just doing Detroit Rock City and just doing the solo over and over and over and over. Yeah. And then once I hit it up, and I just kept speeding it up, and then I played it, and dude, that was like the best time because I've been waiting to play that solo since like I was a kid. And I just never got it right, and it's like I finally got it right, and I hit the nail on the head, and I felt like the shit right there, man. It was awesome.
So Audrey, I want to ask you a kind of more personal question. Did you ever take any lessons or anything like that when you were learning music, or did you try and teach yourself more?
I did try and take some lessons. I didn't have the best instructors, so they were always kind of arrogant. Because I started out in bass, and then I tried teaching myself guitar, and it didn't really work out. So I got most of my knowledge from playing bass.
Yeah.
And then it kind of just fell off because I got into the electronic music side of thing. And it's like, well, why play this when I could do all that? But then, I got older and I realized, hey, analog instruments sound a little bit better when you actually mix them into, electronic music. So instead of doing like a synth bass line, I will play a bass line now.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. Yeah, I was wondering if you could read music and that kind of thing, like actual sheet music or anything of that nature.
I could probably get through some sheet music, but very painfully. But when it comes to like guitars and shit, it's freaking tabs. I can at least read that.
Gotcha. Yeah. I was looking at that game as someone who at the time when it came out, I can read sheet music for pretty much any instrument in an orchestra or wind ensemble.
That's more power to you, man. That's awesome. But the thing that helps me out with this is
with that game. That was the problem.
Well, the thing is about that is like they have the actual like chords that you're playing listed out as, so I'm learning those as well. Like I know what tuning I'm in. Like I was like there's drop C. What the hell is this? And I'm like, oh my god, this is like low as shit.
Yeah.
Like drop C, drop D, freaking like, and they have like special tuning for like 5 strings and shit too. So it gets really weird. I don't know if they had it on the older versions, but they even set it up so you can hook a microphone up to it and actually like karaoke over it because they have the words playing and shit.
Yeah.
So yeah, you can have, and you can co-op with it too. So I can have my buddy with a freaking play the bass part or play a lead part while I play rhythm or bass, whatever, vice versa, however you want to mix it.
And could you do that on the same piece of hardware, or do you have to?
Yeah, it's the same piece of hardware. Like
Sweet.
the only
cool.
thing
do that at this point.
The only thing you need is you just need 2 of those tone cables that they sell. I mean, they got to make their money somehow.
Yeah.
And you plug in 2 of those tone cables. It detects both of those tone cables, and it will detect which one's the bass and which one is the frickin' whatever else you're playing, the lead or the rhythm.
So it sounds like they did a lot of work on this game then from the last time I
There's a lot. There's leaderboards now and shit. There's games in there that you can play with it. It's craziness. So yeah, I'd look into the new one. If you played on the original like vanilla Rocksmith, you need to look at the new one because you'll be like, oh, that's probably pretty cool.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Hearing you talk about it and being able to ask you some questions about it, because that first one was like, I don't know if they thought this all the way through while programming this.
Yeah, I think that's why they redid it. And yeah, honestly, actually, you go to Twitch, there's a bunch of people like, dude, I saw this dude like just shredding the other day on the new Rocksmith. And I was like, what is this dude doing? I can't even tell what he's doing right now. And he was just hitting every note, like freaking note for note on this like song that just had too many notes. I didn't even know what the hell is going on. And I was like, dude, this guy's a badass.
Gotcha.
But yeah, that's why, and that's the other thing I was getting pissed off about because it's not, detecting this, is because I want to stream it. And I use XSplit, and XSplit doesn't work on my Mac. I would have to use OBS to stream from my Mac, which really blows when I can use my freaking rig that can handle pretty much anything I throw at it. I just, interface problems, driver problems.
Gotcha.
Because I want to actually stream some shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, then there was quiet.
Yep. All right. Let's see. What else do we had on the docket, Eric?
I don't know. I'm just telling Ocho to die quietly.
Was he bitching? What's Ocho up to?
Oh, he's all upset about his opt pings. He's getting too many.
Oh.
Yeah. He needs kicked.
Tell him calm down.
He needs kicked or commissaried or something. Anyway. So what else do we have on the docket? We had, that was everything.
That was everything?
No. We have a marathon to live up to, so
okay.
We can always fall back on Eve, right?
So I just want to talk about some tabletop game. No, we're not gonna make people listen to that whole monster. Not that mean. Oh my God, Eric, what have you done? Why are you killing the poor keyboard?
It's his job.
Because Ocho's irritating me.
Oh. So I'm playing like the worst, greatest, terrible like thing I can ever do to myself, which is I am playing Star Wars: The Old Republic, their MMO again, which is never a good sign for me. When I start playing MMOs, I'm in trouble that aren't Eve, because I will forget to do stuff because I don't watch the clocks anymore.
So you're officially on an Eve break.
I'm always on an Eve break. Don't even like. When am I actually playing Eve? I'm actually playing Eve and this at the same time right now. I'm high sec mining on Eve right now with my alpha clone.
This is what people don't understand when they look at the delve numbers. That's what's happening. Goons are doing something else while they are fucking care bearing.
Yeah, well, I mean,
yeah.
If I can do all, why would I not do more than one thing at a time? I have ADD and I'm using it effectively right now. All right. I'm multitasking to my greatest potential.
And that is what sets Delve apart.
Right?
Oh yeah, Goons are
Filled
never
with
doing one thing.
And multi-gaming players doing their shit.
So I'm trying to figure out if I'm going to do a heavy analysis of some of those numbers or not. And Caleb, I think you're going to be part of that effort, I think, per our discussion, right? I'm going to try and get some folks into that.
Forward to that. I was really excited to hear that you were going to go into that.
Yeah,
it's,
I mean,
really something I think you will like.
I don't really think it's a very good economic report that they put out. I don't necessarily know that you can derive a lot of economics out of it, right? But let's see what we can derive out of it.
Well, now hopefully, if they've got all the kinks out, what you should be able to see is the deltas, right? So the changes from one report to the other. So you start being able to actually pull some interesting developments out of it, not necessarily some big geopolitical information, but something that's interesting to see from a metric point of view, like why is this number going up or why is that number going down, or did something change in the patch that has a direct effect on this specific item in the MER. So there's definitely going to be interesting things coming out now that they've hopefully fixed it. And I like your patch note thingy. I always like reading your things because it's always like this burger bun thing where it's like a little good thing, a lot of anger, and then a little good thing.
Anger? I don't think I'm actually...
A lot of anger.
A lot of anger in my...
A lot of anger. That's pretty great. I'm
well, maybe not anger, but you like to throw a little bit of mud at CCP from time to
time.
Well, that's half the fun. Like...
It's a little mud at CCP because the player base is throwing some mud at them too, right? So some of that is bringing up things from the player base, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Right. So if you look at my last article on the my last article in the on what was the update? Probably the patch update, right?
Yeah, that's the latest. It's the patch.
There were people that are really mad about a couple of those changes. Now, I look at those changes and I don't really care, right? They don't really affect me. And I'm sitting there going, some of this is a little dumb. Did you really think about this, CCP? Right? Where did you come up with some of this stuff? Because it doesn't make sense to us as players, right? Excuse me.
I didn't find any of that.
Got a little cough there.
Kind of what I'm wondering, right? Because I know that there's a lot of people that are raging on Reddit, but that's kind of the point of Reddit, right? But I can't really see where's the argument, right? You can be angry and you can say that you don't like the change, but if you don't actually argue why you don't like it, you're to Reddit you go.
So one guy made a point, right? So they're going to take some of the BPOs that you have for stations, right? Station eggs, essentially, right? I guess that's what they are. I don't really know. And next week, one of those station-type BPO things are going to how do I say? They're going to transition to other BPOs. Right?
No, they're getting removed, right? They're no longer going to be seeded.
Well, so I think it's the Amar one, but it's one of them. They're actually getting rid of the station BPOs, okay? But they're converting them into a Fortizar and an Asbel BPO. One of them, one of the four, right? Not all of them, right?
Yeah,
they all have, right? So one of the people said in the forums, right? Oh, you're going to take a 2 billion BPO, right? And you're going to convert it into 6 billion worth of BPOs with the Fortizar and the Asbel, right? So I'm sitting there going, shit, if I don't have a Fortizar BPO today, right, I'm just going to go out and buy one of the others, right? And see how high I can train it up so that I get...
Which means effectively that the real value is not going to be 6 billion anymore.
Well, it's already trading below that on the market as it is.
Yeah, it's the same as with Titan BPOs, right?
But the NPC BPO,
Titan BPOs, a lot of them are researched, and you can still only sell them below NPC price, right?
Right. So you look at that, right, and you sit there and say, and I see why they're converting them to BPOs, right? They want to transition if you've trained up the material and the time, right? That they have a hard time compensating you in ISK for that change, right? Which in my mind, how hard is that? How much did it cost to train them? Just add that in there, right? Be done with it. But you know, most of the people who want a Fortizar BPO at this point, if they had the other one, they've already bought a Fortizar one, right? So why would you really do that? I don't know.
Well,
right?
This is always an upside and downside. How are you going to transition from one thing to another? And we've had so many of these stories in the past, right? Sometimes when players actually lose a lot because of a change, and sometimes there's the potential of actually winning a lot. But again, it corrects itself, because if everyone is winning on something like that, and if everyone is speculating in this direction, no one is going to win in the degree that they think they're going to win. You're not going to get 6 billion worth. You're going to get 3 billion maybe.
Yeah.
And the NPC is now useless in those areas, right? Because there's going to be so much influx of things that have been converted, especially if there's people that are speculating. This is similar to the changes with the build cost of battleships, right? Everyone was building thousands and thousands of battleships to get in on that, and they're only now being able to sell out the last of them, right? Because there was like 3 years worth of battleships on stock.
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, think of it in terms of like Hulks and Retrievers and everything, right?
Yeah, Hawks and Retrievers too. That was also the same thing. 2-3 years to sell off all the production.
And that's even a, I mean, that's a whole show by itself, right? When you talk about the problems in EVE, right? And that's one of them, that we have so much production and not enough ships die, right? And
yeah, which is also tied into the whole thing of the bigger, better thing, that everyone just scales up to the bigger hulls, and then none of the small ones gets destroyed at the pace that it would if people actually use them.
Right, right. And, you know, if you look at some of the things that CCP has done, like it or hate it, right? They've tried to force you into those smaller ones, or do things to make you use smaller ships on a regular basis to get rid of some of that. But yeah.
I don't know.
Or these carriers to die so you can sell more.
They should just come up with some more hulls instead of, like, you know.
No, they have too many hulls, but that's a different article, right? So I do have the Caleb's angry article coming out, and it's not really an angry article, but it's the things about CCP and EVE that I would change, right? And we're not going into depths on, you know, things in the game and total game dynamics that we change. Just how CCP operates so that they mitigate pissing off their player base on a regular basis, which they seem to do.
It's also because they have a very special player base, and they are a very special developer house, right?
They're not like any different than any other gaming company in these respects, right? In how very they communicate with their player base, which is complete and utter shit. Okay, how they communicate, and you know, and how they roll things off the presses, right? For a game that has a very short lifespan, or a smaller player base, or, you know, like a first-person shooter, hey, if you make a gun that's too OP, you can nerf that and not suffer too much damage. But in EVE, nerf something, and not only CCP has done so many things badly that it makes them a very easy target to sit there and say, oh yeah, they're just going to do this again. How many times do you say that, Caleb? Right? When they make a change or do something, yeah, I mean, they're just going to do the same thing again and ignore everybody and do whatever.
I excuse it by the fact that it's complicated, because it's very much like real life politics, because the game is so deep, so long, and so complicated.
I disagree, but we can have a good argument about that after I do my article. That'll be good. It'll be a good show.
We should dedicate a show for that.
Mm-hmm.
That's a hell of a show right there.
Oh yeah, we'll get some people. We'll yell and scream about some things.
Fuck Grayscale.
Drunken screeching.
Yeah.
That's just. I'm just gonna sit there in the background and whisper that for the entire.
Most loved and most hated devs. Right.
Well, no.
I'm just gonna start listing people who are like in charge of certain patches and just saying their name with the most intense anger.
And by the way, that's one of the things that CCP needs to do. They need to not leave those guys hung out to dry.
They need to support.
They need to
like,
sit there as a company and say, "This is the way we're going forward with the game as a company." Don't leave Grayscale out there to hang in the wind with the players.
Like,
don't leave Fozzy out there
Soundwave or whatever. But you should be happy that the FuzzySoft is going away.
I am.
Thank God.
Hold it.
But that was.
I missed that. Hold it. What?
Didn't you read Arendis's piece?
I didn't.
About how
obviously he did not read it.
Actually...
No, I don't read it.
I don't read.
Period.
I'm illiterate. What do you go on?
No, when did Arendis put that piece out? Because I did miss it.
It's a while back. It was his huge wall of text, a long analysis of why he believes that CCP is finally retiring FuzzySoft. And
they haven't made the official announcement.
Because you don't shoot anything.
No, you don't need to. But the point is that the with structures and with the line and direction that the CCP is taking everything with the changes, that's actually going to be the result. And they did actually admit that at FanFest when we were talking to them. So it is going away. So that's nice. I don't know if it's going to be repurposed for anything. I hope it will, because some sort of disruption and, I don't know, terrorist activity things might be a place where you could shift the Aegis.
If they wanted to fill in a freaking guerrilla warfare type deal, then yeah, that would be perfect. But for actually taking Sov, it's like garbage.
Yeah, it is. But someone suggested something really funny. If it was a tool that you use to shift time zones.
Yeah.
So time zone tanking had some sort of counter, right? So you could shift vulnerability when you were wanding using your magic wands.
That's kind of sexy right there. I like that.
I think it was actually Jintan I was talking to when we were brainstorming about these things, and I was trying to get him to confirm whether or not they had been told anything about FuzzySoft getting off the table entirely.
So we're going to go beyond 4 because there's nobody after us, right? Unless somebody yells at us.
There's no one after us.
So I think that I'm going to read the tea leaves here, right? This is complete conjecture. Beer makes me burp, so sorry, guys.
Go on.
So complete conjecture is I believe that they realized they made a mistake with FuzzySoft when we knew that they wanted to use Entosising for the new structures, but instead pivoted away from using Entosis on the new structures and went to the DPS cap. What do you guys think about that?
Your audio is falling out a little bit, but
yeah, I didn't get half of your question.
Yeah, I think what you're missing is that, if I'm not mistaken, this could be totally wrong, but I think FuzzySoft was always supposed to be a transitional system from the old to the new structures, and maybe even an almost solveless system in the future. But it got delayed, right? Because the whole roadmap that was presented by Siegel when she took leadership, that has been delayed more than we had expected, I think.
I can't imagine why you would waste the man hours to code as much code as they had to do for FuzzySoft to make it transitional. That makes no sense to me. I think
I would have to agree with that.
It makes zero sense from a business perspective, right? It's the same thing as with the new Moongoo thing, right? They clearly made a decision that was financial based not to code a different Moongoo system and to leverage the code for mining. Absolutely, they mitigated that cost by doing that. And that is why that gameplay is there. Not because it's going to be interesting. They tried to make it interesting, but they're doing code reuse to minimize cost.
I think they honestly just took a gamble and they lost.
And
yeah,
I think they truly thought FuzzySoft was going to work. And I think FuzzySoft, it was dead in the water when we absolutely knew that was coming to Citadels as the method to control Citadels. And when Seagull stepped in and put the kibosh on that, because they realized that Sov wanding is shit. It just is. It's terrible, right? There's no interest there. There's no interest in gameplay Sov wanding. Nobody wants to be the Sovwander.
You know, honestly, it's like who cares about being the Sovwander? It's just warping back and forth, all over the damn place, trying to find those dudes. And you're not shooting anything. Like I do that shit to shoot something. It's like, oh, you're gonna randomly try and like get into these fights, but those fights are kind of like, you know, few and far in between. Is what I've seen. It's just warping around a bunch. Instead, I would literally rather sit on a pause and waste ammo all day. That was more fun.
Yeah, but people really dislike that from the past. So there was people were wanting something new, and this was a very bad solution. But yeah, I guess.
Well, what I'm saying is,
in hindsight, right?
You've got a bad solution, right? Well, you've got a bad precursor, right? That people look at nostalgically because this solution is so bad, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, that's how bad the new solution is, right? Nobody disagrees that Dominion Sov had to change, right? It's just that what you replaced it with, it's like, you know, you got the little donut spare tire and you need to go 500 miles to get to a new tire, right? I mean,
it seems as if they've never really been willing to look at the whole stick waving and say, okay, can we actually improve it and make it work? They don't want to make any big waves or big changes. They seem, I don't know, scared or something.
They replaced poop with diarrhea. That's what they did. I think they'll fix it though. I don't know. It's just something's got to change.
So who's going out shooting some Blood Raiders?
I don't shoot Blood Raiders. They seem like they understand their place in life. Why would we hurt the Blood Raiders?
I don't know. Like all I saw was they had it up on in the background on the meta show, and that's a lot of freaking NPCs. Like someone was running it on Sissy in the background, and
yeah,
like, that's a lot of freaking NPCs. Dude.
Oh, it's huge! It's huge! It's huge!
That's a lot. I haven't played it, but it just looks insane.
And when they go live, and knowing that it's Larrikin's little child, it might be really evil.
Yeah. I just it's interesting what they're doing with AI lately. I don't know. Like that could spread to a lot of other things.
Which is what they say they are planning on doing, and I really hope that they fucking deliver this time and don't just leave it hanging as some mystical.
Yeah.
The thing is, what are they gonna let it freaking go to? Are they gonna like do your normal missions like that? Like, or if you go up above like a level 3, then they're gonna be AI, and like, oh, dude, that can get really crazy.
So, what are your thoughts? And this goes back even to the excavator and the new drones for the Rorquals, right? And this is kind of a second coming of something like that. What do you think about things that are region based in EVE? Right?
What, you mean the intel?
No, not well. That's another thing, right? No, I'm talking.
I just thought that you were trying to trigger.
No, I wasn't trying to trigger. I'm a serious conversation. You know, so these new Blood Raider things, right? I get their Blood Raider, right? And Blood Raiders live in a certain area, right? Being, you know, it just happens to be in Goon space, right? And Quirius and period basis, right? That these are going to show.
I think that's a good idea.
Right?
I think it's good that they roll out in Goon space or Goon related stuff as the first iteration, because they've already announced the second iteration, right? They already said they are working on the Guristas as well.
Right, but why wouldn't we? What is the advantage of doing that? Okay, over making it so that, you know, these type of things happen everywhere at the same time. Yeah, why roll them out? Because there's a perceived advantage for goons here, right?
Well, because it's something to be contested, right? Because then when they roll out the next one, if they balance those ships and those NPCs in a different way, you're going to have difference in space, which means that what do you want? One of the Blood Raider Titans? Do you want one of the Guristas Titans? Why do you want them? Do they have strategic benefits in doctrines and stuff like that? I think it's really brilliant the way they're doing it, because now there's going to be fighting over the Blood Raiders. So maybe, I don't know,
Well,
if one of them spawns in Goon space, Goons could do something similar to actually just defending them, not letting anyone get in there and get anything.
Here's what I think. What's the other thing that freaking Goons is good at? We're good at breaking mechanics if we can do that. So if you got a brand new AI, why not put it in some place where you got some of the freaking best freaking QA or PC and QC guys that you got out there, quality assurance or quality control guys. Well, if we can't break the shit, then they did something right.
Yeah, exactly.
And then they're going to go on with their next iterations. Like, it's perfect.
So I'm going to give you a different spin on that, right? So why wouldn't you take the time and release all 4 at once, right? Because as soon as you do that, right, and you put it into Goon space, right? It's not like PL is going to come in here and take one of these down, right? And now, you have one organization which has an advantage to get these type of blueprints and start rolling them off the presses faster than anyone else, right? Because there is a shit ton of resources that Goons have stockpiled in order to deal with this, right? So there's a clear advantage there, right? And it wouldn't matter if PL or Test or anybody was in this area, right? It's the same thing. It's just players, right? Why would you not roll something in a more limited fashion across all the factions at the same time? Because short of the specifications of the pirates that are fighting and the blueprints that you're getting, the AI is going to be the same. Most of the central code, most of the bulk of the effort in the code is the same in all of these instances. Okay, so
well, I don't think it's that unfair. If you consider all the things that are on the table right now, this is just like one little morsel that's in some way beneficial to Goons, but not even. Only a third of them will spawn directly in Goon space, right?
Right, but you look at this, right? Why wouldn't you release it across the galaxy altogether? There's not that much coding. It's not that much effort comparatively. Wait 3 or 4 months to get it out and release it as a thing, right?
I think you would have to wait more like 6 months if you want the entire thing ready.
Fine. 6 months. Big deal.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, you need content to be rolling out all the time, right?
But you're only giving content to some people.
No, not at all. There's going to be content for pretty much everyone. It's just where is it going to spawn and who is going to benefit from it, who's going to contest it. Is it going to create any actual battles? Is it just going to be someone PvEing the shit out of this and then just milking it for the blueprints? What are those things actually going to cost? Well, there's so many things that I don't see it as a benefit to Goon specifically. Not in any sense more than Delve already is.
Well, I see it as a specific region of space, right? It's a specific region of space that some people are never going to get that type of content for 6 months.
That's a good point right there from Marshmallow.
What?
Rolling something out like that might be broken across the whole game would generate bad press? ?
Let me tell you, if they roll it across these 3 regions and it sucks, they're going to get bad press again. And by the way,
well, if they roll it out and it sucks because of Goons, then they can use Goons as the scapegoat, right?
Actually, freaking QA it before you put it out there, right? Because I think this is one of the things that
was a QA.
Yeah, it's terrible, right? And now you have 6 months to QA it rather than the more limited time to QA it, right? It even makes more sense to do that.
And then putting it down in our area, it's like whoever wants to come down here, it's like you just got to pick which grinder the meat's going to go into. Is it going to go into Delve grinder, or is it going to go into the Blood Raider grinder, or is that grinder going to come over and grind that meat at the same time?
And personally, I think they're going
to
anyway. I think they're going to cheat. I don't think it's going to be random number generator. I do not think it's going to spawn in Delve the first time.
Oh, I don't really care where it spawns the first time, right? And we have to wait till Thursday for it to happen. And Marshmallow, I'm actually, not. I mean, if I'm selfish, I want this the way it is. I truly don't think that very specific items should. I think there's some things in the game that they've made overly complex. So I don't think things like the pieces that you need to make the excavator drones should be limited to one region the way it is. And everything has to come from there to make them, right? That's unnecessarily expensive. If you want to make something scarce, make it scarce across the board, right?
Well, we're never going to agree on that one.
Yeah, well, that's okay. I mean, it's just how you develop a game, right? And I don't think that making something that is that limiting, for instance, a new really cool ship set of blue BPOs or BPCs, actually, right, for ship types, you know, you limit who you're giving the new content to in the game unnecessarily. Right? I want the players of EVE to have fun. I don't want, you know, 60% of the game to sit there and go, oh, yeah, we don't get that content because it's only over there.
Well, no. That goes out to them being freaking... They don't want to go get that content. So that's the way I look at it.
Well, there has to be some fundamental... No, because there are some organizations that will never see these... Right, and they don't have enough. There's so many facets, right? I mean, I want it to be available across the game, right?
It is available. They just got to go out and get it. That's what they're trying to entice people to come out there, and that's what people need to do. They need to get out of their little safe zones and freaking come out in a null and have some freaking fun. I mean, it's just like my buddy I was talking about. He never wants to freaking PvP, but it's some of the funnest freaking action in the freaking whole thing because everybody looks at their ship like it's, oh my god, if I lose this, it's the end of the world. No, it's just fucking pixels. Go out there and lose a ship. Who cares? Well, I do care sometimes because it's expensive, but whatever. Just lose it. It's pixels. Come out and play. It's all safe zone thing.
Yeah, well, there's people who never want to leave HiSec, right? I mean, one of the changes I would make to the game is HiSec is one constellation per and no incursions and no mining for moons.
Hey, don't take away my HiSec mining. I might leave the game again completely. I'm having a lot of... Dude, I enjoy HiSec mining because it's relaxing, and then idiots try and show up to kill me, and then I shoot them in the face. It's a good time.
It's relaxing mining in freaking nullsec. Nobody bothers you.
I don't enjoy mining in nullsec because I actually have to sit there and read comms and be in a fleet and all that shit. I don't have to deal with that.
Shit, that keeps me awake.
Yeah. I mean,
see, there should be a text-to-speech thing running, so you could just join an audio channel, and then it gives you the warnings like that.
I need that. That would actually be useful.
I gotta go let somebody in again. I think I locked my wife out of the house.
Discord's got text-to-speech, right? So you could just make it an audio thing. And then they do have give the warnings.
They do have it in the game where you can set something you want to highlight in chat or whatever, but I think like some type of like warning ping for like if you type in the system or like some system in a pipe or whatnot and it goes ping ping ping, it's or it's like, oh hey, someone's gonna freaking come down the pipe towards me or whatever. That'd be cool. I mean, they already highlight it, but it doesn't work all the time.
See, RJ, you should design something using the air horn bot or something like that, and then implement it in Delve.
Port, the rocks only die fast if you're not an alpha. If you're a non-alpha tune. My HiSec tune's an alpha and a fucking skiff, and I have a good time. Not even skiff. What's that? The Venture, not the skiff. I don't even have a skiff yet.
Venture is a nice little ship. It took them 10 years to actually implement a proper mining frigate, but it came around eventually.
The Venture might be one of the best additions to EVE that I've seen in a while, just on like balance and actually allowing people to do what they want. Because when I first started playing EVE, I had I think it's a Thorax class cruiser, whatever, the one that looks like the stupid Galente gun cruiser. I had one of those equipped with mining lasers, and my friend in a fucking Iteron jet can mining because we couldn't afford a fucking mining barge.
It's kind of what I would have hoped that they have done with the Orca and the Rorqual, that they had added some sort of massive mining boost to only the frigate hull.
Yeah.
So you really motivate for group stuff, and that the number of players in the fleet is actually a benefit. So they become the drones instead.
Yeah.
Plava Laguna's back.
Uh-oh.
Blavala.
Plava Laguna. Twerking it.
Alrighty. Do we have anything else we want to talk about, or should we end this bitch?
I'm good.
It is getting quite late in the evening because I'm
yes, it is.
about an hour and a half or so.
Alrighty. Let's, if there's never going to be anybody after us, we should make this an hour and a half show and just make it that and be done with it.
There you go.
All right, guys. Thank you for joining us. And
I'm going to go get food.
Go get food, and we're going to sign off.
Bye.
Later, folks.
Bye.